All right, Brian, on with the show because I have a very honest question to ask you. If you can tell me, I didn't have time to Google this. How much is 4 million pesos?
Oh, I meant to do that too. They said it, but I don't want to get that wrong. 4 million pesos.
Ladies and gentlemen, they had a match, a four-way match, of course, it had to be, where the winner would get 4 million peso. 4 million pesos.
In US dollars, $208,743.60.
Now, how much again?
$208,743.60.
So it's not as impressive as it sounds with the 4 million, but what the fuck? Ricochet versus Hologram versus Leo Rush versus Mascara Dorito. Why would anybody think that you would have that match and just say, oh, the winner gets $200,000? What kind of Vern Gagne's $50,000 AWA Battle Royals used to raise fucking eyebrows. What the? And again, all this was a Mark Booker giving four of his really smaller but athletically gifted children a chance to play in front of the big crowd. And, well, the reason for the match, because there has to be a reason for the match, is the winner gets 4 million pesos. There needs to be a reason for the match that people might actually understand or give a shit about, first of all. Second of all, this thing with entrances was 20 minutes. And yes, it was one of the more ridiculous exhibitions of team gymnastics that you're ever going to see. But they've got a 14-man tag team match at the start of the show. They got a 10-man tag team match to close the show. They've got these goofy stipulations everywhere, and they got to gimmick this up too with the 4 million pesos, just so the kids get to play. And by the way, Ricochet, somebody, I don't know, Brian, if you probably saw that people were actually taking a clip from the match with Lashley and Benjamin against Kevin Knight and Hong Kong Phooey last week, where the kids were blowing shit left and right, the alley-oops and the jumping up and not throwing anything, and it made the Hurt Syndicate look bad because they were trying to work with these guys, give them shit, and they couldn't do it. The AEW fans were putting that same clip up on Twitter going, see, the Hurt Syndicate, they're not working with these guys, and they're not good as these guys. They thought it was their fault. And then when I put out a tweet saying this is part of the problem, that the AEW wrestlers will never get any better when the fans and each other, they're all telling themselves it's not their shortcomings, it's the fault of the occasional actual pro that wanders in. And of course, the kids were out of position, and Shelton was like, well, is somebody going to hit me with something? I'm ready to take a bump and all these things. So when I tweeted that, I said, unless they realize the problem, they ain't going to do anything about it. Some guy tweets, hey, Ricochet, what about this? And Ricochet wrote back, who cares what he thinks? And I saw that, and I had to, I don't have a lot of fucking time, but I had to say something. I wrote him back. I said, with a blistering comeback like this, no wonder you're the king of comeback tweet deletion. Why didn't Tony hire you your own writer too?
I love comeback tweet deletion. It's such a nice.
Well, I mean, that's what flow. He did. He tweets something out his ass. It's not really particularly witty and generally pisses somebody off, and somebody that he works for tells him to take it down. But nevertheless, that was what this was, is, 20 minutes of the children getting to play in front of the big crowd, and somebody, I don't know who, won 4 million pesos.
You don't know who won?
I didn't really pay attention to notice who won.
I don't know either.
Well, there you
I
go.
thought you would know. Who do you think won? Let's look it up real quick.
Well, now one would think that Leo Rush didn't win. Normally, if this was America, Ricochet would win because it's Hologram and Mascara Dorito. But since it's Arena Mexico, Hologram. I bet Hologram won.
All right, well, let's find out. Going to the notes from the wrestling news. I apologize, the Gardeners just arrived off schedule.
We've talked about this. They're not gardeners. They're lawn mowers. They're just mowing. They're not fucking planting flowers and fertilizing the goddamn seeds so that they poke up to the sky.
Hologram won a 4-way.
Well, there you go. Had to be that way. Mama says it bees that way sometimes.
It had to be the luchador that Tony created himself?
Well, one would think if it was, if besides the fact that there were two luchadors, one of them probably won it. Hologram is the one that Tony created, where Dorito is just the one that Tony snacks on when he's stoned.